Welcome to John Martin Talks, where we battle ignorance and apathy daily. The growing ignorance of just how special this experiment we call the United States of America is, and the apathy that we can't or won't do anything and everything to save her. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got a great show for you today. We're going to start off with Nancy Pelosi. I don't know if you like to start your mornings off or your late night, because we're a late night show depending on where you're looking at it, and live every day, Monday through Friday, 8 Eastern time across Facebook and YouTube, our YouTube channel, John Martin Talks, spell it all the way out. But we're all about Pelosi first thing this morning, and that is certainly a wake-up call. So we're going to talk about, she kind of went a little bit crazy on CNN's Wolf Blitzer show yesterday, and essentially accused him and CNN of coddling Republicans. Imagine that. And then we got really a scary story to, I guess, Halloween, but it's real. That's what makes it so scary, is that Project Veritas has come up with a new video, and it exposes the current state of the Democratic Party. Actual Democratic Party members, executive committee members out in Colorado, talking about what they are going to do if Donald Trump actually wins the election and gets 4 more years, that they're going to be on the attack, and they're literally going to be looking to cut people's heads off. I kid you not. Wait till we get into that. But before we go any further, I got a couple of housekeeping issues I want to deal with. First is our sponsor, Big Daddy Unlimited. We're live every day, Monday through Friday, on this whatever network you're watching on now, in Big Daddy Unlimited Studios. And to help us and help you, and man, do we need Second Amendment rights now more than ever. All you got to do is check out our sponsorship link. Go to the description of our show above the video, no matter when and where you're watching it. Scroll down on that description. You'll see our sponsorship link. It'll take you to Big Daddy Unlimited, where for 99 cents for the first month, literally virtually a free trial, you will have access to factory direct pricing on everything Second Amendment related, including, yes, guns and ammo from all kind of dealers delivered direct to your door. Also thousands of other items. Check it out, Big Daddy Unlimited. As I tell you, not everybody can be a fighter, but everybody can support fighters like myself, and that's what I need your help, because after the initial virtually free trial, 99 cents, it's $10 a month, $4 of which comes to our show to help us spread the word. Of course, you can cancel at any time, but once you see the savings, you won't want to do that. And also, I want to say this is more to the local audience, basically within 50 miles of Gainesville, Florida. This Thursday night, we have, as our annual local Republican Party fundraiser, our what they call Ronald Reagan Black Tie and Blue Jeans event, and we've got Larry Elder, of all people, a terrific speaker, coming in, and a host of others as well. You can go to the Facebook site, our local Facebook site, Alachua County Republican Executive Committee Facebook site. You can also message me here at John Martin Talks Facebook page. But we have tickets for sale. I think the cheapest one's about $80, but I got a special announcement. We are going to Zoom it into certain people. You can buy a Zoom ticket for as little as $25. You can watch it literally in your underwear, I suppose, from the comfort of your own home. To get that ticket, what you need to do is either send a message to myself, John Martin Talks, on our Facebook page. Send it to the Alachua County Republican Executive Committee Facebook page, or you can visit the official Black Tie and Blue Jeans, Ronald Reagan Black Tie and Blue Jeans website, and send a message there, and you can get that you get a special link for that $25 ticket. I just need to do that for our local group. It's a terrific event every year, and we're having it this year in spite of the COVID. We're taking President Trump's lead on the issue. All right, let's get on with the show. One of the things I wanted to update you on very quickly is the SCOTUS hearings. Now, I'm not doing an in-depth story on that. I didn't put it in the show description, but I just want to bring up a couple of very quick points in case you haven't been watching it. You haven't missed much except one thing. one thing is just resonates across the two hearings they've had yesterday and the day before, the last 2 days. And that is that and I hope I'm saying her name right, Amy Coney Barrett is unbelievable. She is absolutely fantastic. Her legal mind, her mind in general is just as sharp as a tack. She has got to be one of the brightest lights on. I mean, this one, and I'm not exaggerating, this woman is an amazing human being, and hopefully she will get confirmed before the election and get on the Supreme Court. And if you're honest about it and been watching this, it doesn't matter which side of the aisle you're on. This is an impressive person to be putting on the Supreme Court. And Lord willing, we'll be blessed with her, not only her confirmation, but for years to come. The Democrats, essentially, all they have been doing is they're resigned, it looks, to the fact that she's going to get confirmed. They haven't been hitting her too much personally. They got one more day, I think, to basically do that. So anything could happen. I mean, Mazie Hirono literally asked her a question yesterday. You know, the senator from Hawaii, the one that said, men should just sit down and shut up. She asked her, have you ever been accused or have you ever sexually abused someone? So maybe they're setting it up for something. Who knows? But she literally asked that woman that. Cory Booker literally asked her, can you denounce right now for everybody white supremacist? Of course she did. I mean, these Democrats are they're fools. They showed that they can't hold a candle to this lady. And then mostly what they are doing is trying to attack President Trump and trying to create out of thin air campaign issues to drive turnout to vote for Joe Biden. That's really all these hearings have been from the Democratic side. But once again, Miss Barrett is unbelievable. If you've no other reason to watch than that, she is just an amazing, bright, she's a superwoman. I'm just telling you, she's a superhuman being, period. Anyway, let's move along. The Nancy Pelosi, man, you talk about somebody amazing. She's amazing for all the wrong reasons. But let me read the headline. This comes from the Daily News. Nancy Pelosi and Wolf Blitzer in heated exchange about stimulus bill. You don't know what you're talking about, she told Wolf Blitzer. Now, I'm telling you, it was heated. Now, most of the times, you wouldn't think CNN and a progressive liberal like Nancy Pelosi would have anything but a love fest. But I have to say, and we're going to play a short video of it in just a moment, but it was, I've seen the whole segment. Really, I'll try to post the whole segment up on my Facebook site. It is pretty impressive. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi got into a heated exchange with CNN veteran Wolf Blitzer on Tuesday that resulted in the California Congresswoman telling the cable TV journalist he didn't know what he was talking about. Now, I have to say, it's hard to argue about that on CNN because most of the time they don't know what they're talking about and they're total sellouts to the progressives, period. But Nancy, let me just put this out there, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I speak for Billy Bob myself. If you hadn't met my psychic sidekick, this is Billy Bob Bass. If you're new to the show, he kind of keeps me straight on here. Yes, some of us are sicker than others, and I'm a fish whisperer. Make fishing great again. But Billy Bob and myself both have Twitter handles. His is at Billy Bob Bass 1, and mine is at John Martin Talks. But I sincerely want to invite Miss Pelosi to come on the show anytime. Anytime, man. We need very short notice to have you on the show. You are well. If you're tired of Wolf Blitzer and you're scared of Sean Hannity, then come on here. Come on the John Martin Talk Show. I'll treat you with the dignity you deserve. Yeah, really. But I think about this when I'm thinking about it because I'm serious about this. I'd love to have her. So if you have a connection to Miss Pelosi, have her come on here. But I'm wondering about the social distance deal. How much social distance should I have from Nancy Pelosi? If I actually have her on the set, it's not very wide here. I might be able to put her on the corner and achieve that 6 foot distance. But what I'm actually worried about, and this is a question for science, I'm not sure about how compelling works. You know what compelling is? It's like a trick that vampires have where they look at you and go like, and they make you say and do whatever they want you to do. Can you do that over the airwaves? Because, I could have her Skype in or something like that. I just don't know if you can be compelled. I could is there like a plexiglass screen, some type of screen against compelling because I'd be worried about her compelling me, man, because you know that is one of her powers. There's really no doubt about that, man. If anybody is a vampire, it is that gal right there. Right off the bat, back to the article, serious now. Right off the bat, I just don't know what bats here, so I was right? Right off the bat, Blitzer got under Pelosi's skin. That would be creepy indeed, right? By asking if she could look her constituents in the eye, oh my God, compelling, and explain why you don't want to accept the president's latest stimulus offer. Well, let me just tell you, do yourself a favor. Don't look her in the eye. I mean, I'm looking at a monitor here with her picture on it, and I'm like, I don't want to be compelled. No, compelling you. What do you got to do, like the cross or something? I don't have any garlic, maybe on my breath. But Nancy Pelosi, man, she is daily dressed up for Halloween because she is the Wicked Witch. There is no doubt about it. And look at that. If she's not compelling in that picture, I don't know what is. But Pelosi cited her decades with this argument she had, it was really like a cat fight between her and Wolf, man. Pelosi cited her decades in office and said she knew the needs of her constituents and that the Trump administration's $1.8 trillion stimulus proposal didn't meet them. So basically $2 trillion, it ain't enough. It's never enough. There's never enough money for progressives. Have you ever heard a Democrat say, hey, this program we're for, don't worry about it. We got it. It's fully funded. We don't need any more money. Have you ever heard a Democrat say that? Not too many Republicans say it, but never a Democrat. They'd literally get them fired from, they'd probably, what do they call that? Spontaneous combust if they actually said that. But Blitzer said, talking about the American people, they really need the money right now. And she's opposed to it. Why would Nancy Pelosi be opposed to giving people a stimulus check right now? Because Democrats got no problem making it rain, baby. I mean, they'll make it rain as long as it ain't their money. It's your money. They don't care. It's TDS. It's Trump derangement syndrome, plain and simple. She doesn't want Donald Trump to be able to stroke a check to the American people right before an election. That's all it's about. It's about the Trump stimulus check. Oh, by the way, did you check the right box on your Trump stimulus check? Because he signed it, right? I don't know if you've seen the new checks they're proposing here. Donald Trump is your president or not. That's what Donald Trump needs to send out right now. But make no mistake about it. Nancy Pelosi is not opposed to giving away money. She just doesn't want to help the American people just before the election and give any credit to Donald Trump. Trump derangement syndrome, ladies and gentlemen, it is real. The debate between her and Wolf, the debate got hotter still when Blitzer asked Pelosi about a tweet from California Representative Ro Khanna suggesting fellow Democrats take the COVID-19 stimulus relief bill now and force Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to play ball later. One of the things that came out in the Barrett SCOTUS hearings yesterday was, I believe it was Klobuchar. She's a piece of work, man. If you want to see something, be glad has no chance to be president, because she is just crazy on that committee. But she suggested that, we shouldn't be. She had this list of reasons why we shouldn't be here, talking about the hearings yesterday. And one of them was we should be taking the stimulus package that the House passed for the Senate should be doing it. There's only one little flaw in her logic. The House hasn't actually passed anything. That's what this gentleman from California is saying to Nancy Pelosi. Let's pass something and put Mitch McConnell in the Senate on the spot and President Trump. But so Blitzer asked Miss Pelosi, what do you say to Ro Khanna? Blitzer asked. Well, let me just, instead of explaining what she said, let's just play this video. This is in response to Wolf Blitzer asking Nancy what is her response to this California representative, who is a Democrat, by the way. Listen to what Nancy has to say, and we'll come back and talk about it.
The Obama stimulus, make a deal, put the ball in McConnell court. So what do you say to Ro Khanna?
What I say to you is, I don't know why you're always an apologist, and many of your colleagues apologists for the Republican position. Ro Khanna, that's nice. That isn't what we're going to do, and nobody's waiting till February.
Dollars is significant.
I mean, Did you catch that? She is saying that Wolf Blitzer and essentially CNN why are they apologists for Republicans? When is the last time, I mean, CNN can be accused of all kind of things, but being in the tank for Republicans, pardon my English here, it ain't one of them. I mean, of all the things, apologists. CNN is in the tank for for Republicans. Really? Show me an example, man. But Nancy, she wasn't done, man. She added that Kohana's opinion was nice. She said it was nice. That's, man, you better be scary, You better be scared, Kohana. I'm scared of Nancy. You better be. But not a factor in her negotiations, and that a deal would be worked out earlier than February. So if you're worried about getting some money, Nancy Pelosi says, oh, we'll deal with it at least before February. I mean, listen to what she's saying. It's not hard to read between the lines. She doesn't want to give you any money in your pocket, regardless of how much you may need it, before the election, period. She doesn't want to do it. So it's not about you, the American people. Do you get that? It's about her power, period, man. And when she says Kahana is nice, let me tell you what that means. That means she's like the Wicked Witch of the Wizard of Oz. I'll get you, my pretty. That's what that means. She's coming for you, Kohana. You better watch out, man. But Pelosi power, man. If you want to understand Nancy Pelosi, like I say, different people, if you understand what their core principle is or whatever their core being, I wouldn't necessarily call it a principle, then you understand everything they do. For Nancy, it's real simple. She's one of those people that it is about her position and her power. Every decision she makes is about her getting and maintaining, and in this case, holding on to power. That's all it is. It's nothing to do with you, the American people. Stimulate that. That's all she wants to do is be stimulated herself, which that's kind of a scary thought in general. Get that picture out of my mind. Blitzer argued that fellow Democrat Andrew Yang, we hadn't heard much from the Yang gang lately, agreed with Kohana, which did not impress Pelosi. She said, honest to God, she responded to Wolf talking about Andrew Yang. She said, honest to God, I really can't get over it. She fumed, calling Yang and Kohana lovely. Oh, Andrew, man, you better be running. The Yang gang, you better run, man. She coming for you too, my pretty. Then reminding Blitzer, they're not negotiating this situation. She is. She is negotiating this situation. And Billy Bob tells me that we actually have a video of Nancy Pelosi telling Mr. Yang and Mr. Kohana what they could do with their suggestions. I think Billy Bob said we got it. Can we play that? The shut up video? Here it is.
Listen, who is on your list, Joe?
This
Who's
is
on your
so,
list?
right. Gentlemen, I think
this
we've
is
ended
so
this.
He's going to pack the court.
We have
not going to give a list.
We have ended this segment. We're going to move on to the second segment.
That was really a productive segment, wasn't it? Keep yapping, man.
The people understand, Joe.
They sure
47 years, you've done nothing. They understand.
All right.
Billy Bob tells me that wasn't exactly the right video. That's my fault, man. That was Joe Biden saying shut up. But you know he is the Democratic Party, so Nancy Pelosi was channeling Joe Biden, basically telling him to shut up, man. But Billy Bob is right, man. That was the wrong video. That he didn't make a mistake. I did. But 47 years, I got to say on that, President Trump talks about it. You know, I don't know about Trump 45, but I love Trump 47 for sure. I mean, I want Trump 45 to get reelected, but Trump 47? Yeah, he's done more. I mean, is there a truer statement in this entire campaign than that Donald Trump has done more in 47 months than Biden has done in 47 years? Is there a truer statement than that? I don't think so. But Blitzer, back to this article, back to Pelosi and Blitzer, the cat fight, man. Can you imagine them two going at it? I don't know. Blitzer, he's kind of small, and Nancy is ferocious, man. I think she'd take old Wolf. But Blitzer pushed Pelosi about a proposal from President Trump's Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin that didn't go over well either. Pelosi snapped, with all due respect, when nobody says that, they're about to lay the hammer or the wood on you, right? She said, with all due respect to you, talking about Wolf, you really don't know what you're talking about. You really don't know what you're talking about. I mean, what is this with Democrats that can't be questioned? Basically, Pelosi is fuming because she didn't get her typical what she thought CNN, which would be softball questions and rah-rah for the Democratic Party. She actually got asked some reasonable, yes, serious questions, and she just couldn't handle it. What is it about Democrats not answering questions? But you can't question them. If you question Democrats, man, we shall not be questioned. And I got to tell you a really, quick story. And this comes from right here in Alachua County. Alachua County, where I live, not the whole county, but it's centered with Gainesville, by far one of the most liberal places in the country. It is literally a San Francisco in Florida. Not quite as bad on the streets. We may talk about that in a minute. But the University of Florida is housed here, 60,000 strong, with all the liberalism that brings. And I'm a diehard Gator, graduate of UF, so I love it, but truth is truth. Well, the Alachua County Commission has essentially tried to shut us down here locally in spite of our great governor, Ron DeSantis. We've been trying to have mandatory masks and all that stuff for a long time. They are battling the governor on a daily basis. And the University of Florida, like the whole rest of the Southeastern Conference, has had football games. I think we're into our fourth game. They're supposed to be playing LSU at home this weekend. And they limit it to like 20,000. The stadium holds about 100,000. You know the deal if you've watched any of it. But Alachua County put out a Facebook post yesterday basically talking about how they're struggling to keep the county and thus the city of Gainesville shut down, especially with the university back in session and these young people that just won't do what they're told. Imagine that. So they put this post out, and in part of the post, I want to read you a short snippet and then my response to this. This is what the county put out, talking about keeping the whole thing shut down and the irresponsibility of the young people. It says, let's put our differences aside and join together to beat this thing. Talking about COVID. Sounds good, right? We challenge everyone. So they want your opinion. They want us to come together, but then they challenge you. We challenge everyone commenting on the Facebook post to make a positive contribution to this post. In other words, you dare not question us. Don't put any critique about what we're doing. Simply reinforce what we're doing. Something positive, right? So this was my comment, man. You can imagine I'm a little bit smarky and I'm a little bit of a smart something or other. My comment was, I am positive we, the people, should have the freedom to determine our own risk, not the little Napoleons that have sprung up across the nation. And man, have I been getting a little bit of heat from the county itself from that. They chime in, I get in a running debate with them, which I don't mind, but I've gotten a lot of positive from average everyday people out there. So I appreciate that too. But what is it with these Democrats not answering questions? They can't be questioned. I mean, Joe Biden, who tells you that he is the Democratic Party, right? Remember that. Joe Biden has officially announced that I am the Democratic Party. I take him at his word for it. But what did he say just yesterday or day before about the American people's right to know something on issues? Well, let's play it and see what he has to say.
We had a chance to interview Biden one-on-one and ask him if he plans to pack the Supreme Court with more justices if he wins. Here was that exchange.
Sir, I've got to ask you about packing the courts. And I know that You said yesterday you aren't going to answer the question until after the election. But this is the number one thing that I've been asked about from viewers in the past couple of days.
Well, you've been asked by the viewers who are probably Republicans who don't want me continuing to talk about what they're doing to the court right now.
Well, sir, don't the voters deserve to know?
No, they don't. I'm not going to play his game. He'd love me to talk about, and I've already said something on court pack. He'd love that to be the discussion instead of what he's doing now.
Wow. He literally looks the camera in the eye when the reporter asks him, don't the voters have a right to know? And says, no, they don't have a right to know. Even publications like the New York Times now has come out and said that Joe needs to answer this question. And he kind of backed away from it a little bit yesterday when he said, I've already spoken about it, because he's already spoken twice on this. This is what makes his response so idiotic. He's already said back in like the 80s and just this past year that he was opposed to packing the court. So why is it a big issue now? And the reason is because the Democrats, if they get the power, are absolutely going to try to pack the court. There's just no question about that. And Joe is trying to dodge it, man. But the real question is not Joe Biden dodging questions, not Pelosi refusing to answer questions, getting pissed off by even being asked a real question by CNN of all places. The real question is, are you, the voters, going to accept this? Are you going to allow a person to actually win the presidency that doesn't campaign, that has no courage to get out and face the American people, like our great leader, President Trump? I mean, he had another rally last night, was on fire, just amazing. He's coming here locally this weekend. I don't think I'm going to be able to attend, but man, they don't need me because they got thousands of people attending. But are you, the American people, are you going to accept someone running for president that literally stands there and says you don't have a right to know when asked a question? I mean, Donald Trump, love him, hate him, whatever, he's eager to answer questions, sometimes too dadgum eager. You don't have to know what's on his mind. He puts it on Twitter for the world to see, right? So, but Biden, man, I don't know. So are you going to accept that, America? I'm not. As I say, I'm out that boiling pot, and I ain't getting back in it. You don't know what I'm talking about? Listen to our podcast I've been talking about, but maybe I'll explain it later. All right, back to the story. After more back and forth, Blitzer said to Pelosi, I'm asking you serious discussions because so many people are in desperate need right now. He's talking about the American people. And I already told you, Nancy don't care about that. Desperate people right now. Well, Wolf, you don't seem to understand, and you should, of all people. The Democratic Party has said, and of course Joe Biden is the Democratic Party, Nancy Pelosi has said this same thing, that they are the party of the poor, right? Well, if you take them at their word, if true that they are the party of the poor, they're also the party of the billionaires, by the way. But if they're the party of the poor, then what do they need? What do we need? More poor. That's what we need, man. So, the more poor, the better, right, for the Democratic Party. Wolf asked the Speaker of the House when she last spoke to the president to strike a deal. And she said, I don't speak to the president. And I don't blame President Trump because, man, it's even though he's got a lot of superpowers, Superman, he may be subject to that compelling too. So I don't blame her. I wouldn't want Nancy, whatever she's got, I'm sure you could catch it over the phone. Blitzer asked why Pelosi and Trump don't just get on the phone and hammer out a deal one-on-one. And this is what she said. Pelosi said, in response to that question, she said, what makes me amused, if it weren't so sad, is how you all think you know more about the suffering of the American people than those of us who are elected by them to represent them at the table, arguing that Trump administration is looking out for the wealthy and neglecting the pandemic. So Nancy Pelosi is claiming that she's elected by the American people. But the reality is that, and this is true of any Speaker of the House, every member of the House, they're not elected by the American people like Donald Trump. They're elected by American people in one small district. Basically, the population of every district is essentially the same. The geographic size varies. Nancy Pelosi is elected by the San Francisco political machine. And she has not done well by them at all. Let's take a look at a couple of pictures. These are actually from San Francisco, the people that have elected. Look at that. You talk about a tent city, man. I mean, unbelievable, right? And then we show people just up close and personal. Look at that picture. This is all over San Francisco. You literally have to have a poop map to walk through. San Francisco used to be the jewel. Now it's the stool, man. You get poop samples with like a poop birthday cake with needles sticking out of it, man. I mean, so if she's elected by those people, she sure hadn't done right by them. But of course, and this idea that Donald Trump, what did she say here? That he's looking out for the wealthy and neglecting the pandemic. She doesn't care about the pandemic. You talk about Donald Trump saying he's immune. Nancy Pelosi, by her own actions, remember the beauty parlor video? Let's play it in case, just to remind you if you haven't seen it before. Check it out. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Nancy Pelosi violating the law in San Francisco that she's fully aware of. Now, keep in mind, she's like 80 years old. she's the prime comorbidity person to die from COVID. I mean, if Andrew Cuomo were to put her in an old folks home, she'd probably be dead like a lot of your grandmas up there in New York. But Pelosi doesn't care about the pandemic. She flaunts the rules. It's all about her power. It's all about her hair and looking good or whatsoever. So, I mean, these people have, as my wife always tells me, they know no shame. She said we need to bring back shame a little bit more. She's probably right about that because there is no shame on there. But Mr. Blitzer said this at the end, trying to wrap it up. He said, Madam Speaker, these are incredibly difficult times right now, and we'll leave it on that note, Blitzer said, thanking Pelosi and her for her time. But old compelling wicked witch Nancy, the plandemic gal, she wasn't going to let Blitzer have the last word. She said, no, we'll leave it on the note that you are not right on this, Wolf, and I hate to say that to you. So he's coddling Republicans again. Blitzer, because it is his show, kudos to him. Blitzer said, I am sensitive to them because, talking about people suffering, American people, sensitive to them on the street, begging for food, begging for money, like in your district, Nancy. Pelosi asked the CNN anchor, have you fed them? We feed them. Not from what I've seen, Nancy. I guarantee you, Nancy Pelosi has never personally fed anyone like that. Maybe, what'd she say, let them eat ice cream like Marie Antoinette. Talk about the French Revolution and guillotines just a moment. But come on, man. So let me just ask you, ladies and gentlemen, do you really need another reason to vote red, to vote straight Republican ticket? Obviously, if you're like me, you want to see Donald Trump get 4 more years. But if you needed one more reason, it would be to get Nancy Pelosi and her kind out of power. I mean, come on, man. I mean, these people, party of the poor. You Democrats, are you listening? Because I'm going to give you another story right now. If you haven't been listening, and this is to all American people, regardless of party, you better listen to this next story. Let me check my time. We're doing pretty good. This is from Breitbart, and it's a Halloween story, but the frightening part about it is it's real. And I would play the video from this because this is a Project Veritas, but it's too much cursing in this video for me to play it on my show. There's just not a segment I could play. Maybe I'll post it up on my Facebook page and you can listen to it if you choose to. There's not a segment where it's not MF and this. Even the headline has a curse word in it, which I'll bypass. From Breitbart, watch, guillotines MFer, Colorado Democratic operative reveals violent agenda should Trump win the election. Now, this guy's more than a Democratic operative, which you will see in just a moment. Project Veritas has released a video of a Colorado Democratic operative and a prominent member of a radical leftist organization revealing violent and potentially murderous plans of the militant left should President Trump win a second term. So before we go any further, let me just give kudos to Project Veritas. Man, they have done some incredible work over the last few years, and so I just tip my hat to them. Keep up the good work, guys. I mean, they're doing what journalists actually used to do. Remember 60 Minutes used to actually do stuff like this? Journalism don't do it, and they get very little play. I wish I could play it, but like I say, I'll put it on my Facebook page. It's just too vulgar for me to even play. Back to this article. This gentleman's name is Chris Jacks, and he's a trainer. Listen to what he is. And it's very important that you pay attention, Democrats especially. You need to hear who this guy is. Chris Jacks, a trainer and mentor at Our Revolution, that's a group, I don't know much about him, protests, and a member of the executive committee of the Colorado Democratic Party. So he's actually a member of the executive committee of the Republican Party in Colorado. So he's not just some fly-by-night guy. He's an activist member of the party itself, the apparatus of the party. And he said this guy made it clear that he will do everything morally acceptable to prevent Trump's re-election this year. And we'll get into that in a minute. But I want to emphasize to you, this guy, among other things, is a member of the executive committee of the Colorado Democratic Party. So therefore, well, let me just play this video of Biden. You've probably seen it, but it bears repeating, of course. If I say it, it bears repeating. But check out Joe Biden in his own words. Listen to it.
He doesn't say your party wants to go socialist medicine
party is
and
me.
socialist
right
healthcare.
now, I am
and
the
they're going to
Democratic
dominate
Party.
you, Joe. You know that.
I am the Democratic Party right now. The platform of the
Not according
Democratic
to
Party
Harris.
is what I, in fact, approved of. What I approved of.
A lot of I's in there, right? No T, no I in the word team. But make no mistake, Joe Biden himself, and he sounded reasonably cognizant right then, he said, I am the Democratic Party. Make no mistake, I, Joe Biden, am the Democratic Party. So this guy out there, Mr. Jax, is actually a member of the executive committee of the Democratic Party. So shouldn't Joe Biden be asked to disvolve himself from this, to repudiate this guy? You think he'll actually be asked that? I doubt it very much. If the roles are reversed and there was a member of the Republican executive committee of a state saying what this guy is saying, you know Donald Trump would be asked round the clock about it, period. But you want to know about this term, everything morally acceptable. Let me read this again. He said, this is what this guy said. He said he made it clear that he will do everything morally acceptable to prevent Trump's reelection this year. What does that mean? Morally acceptable. Now, I know what it might mean to you and me that you have certain moral code, but listen to his moral code of what he's willing to do that is morally acceptable to defeat Donald Trump. It speaks volumes about the current state of the Democratic Party. You Democrats out there really need to listen. Everybody does. This is your party. This is Joe Biden right here. He said here, and I quote, I am going to do everything morally acceptable to win. I will lie, I will cheat, I will steal, because that's morally acceptable in this political environment. Absolutely, we are pirates on a pirate ship. We are pirates on a pirate ship. Let me read that one more time. I will do everything morally acceptable to win. I will lie, I will cheat, I will steal, because that's morally acceptable in this political environment. Absolutely, we are pirates on a pirate ship. I've been telling you this for a long time. One of my axioms on John Martin Talks is that these progressives take them at their word. If you just listen to what they're telling, and the progressives are running the Democratic Party, there's no question about that. Just take them at their word. I'm telling you. And Biden, take him at his word. He tells you, I am the Democratic Party. So Biden then is basically admitting, unless he disavows it, he's admitting that he will lie, he will cheat, he will steal, because that's morally acceptable in this political environment. Hey, that's what they're saying. I'm just repeating the facts, but I take them at their word. But Jax added, I want to make this point very loudly and very clearly. You are, and I'm going to make mine as well. He said, I said it nicely before, but I'll say it more curtly now. 2020 is a political revolution. And I have to tell you, Mr. Jax, on that, we agree. It is a revolution. It is bigger than Donald Trump, and that's hard to beat. Now, don't misunderstand me. It's all about reelecting Donald Trump, but make no mistake about it, and this is for all Americans who care about this great nation. I don't care what party or lack thereof party. This election is about freedom versus tyranny, because take this guy at his word. He is going to bring tyranny to your doorstep, to your virtual, literally doorstep. That's what he's talking about. He's literally saying that we could cut people's heads off. Part of that I'm leaving out, but he definitely said that, man. But he goes on to say, this is what the Project Veritas person said. He said, we've been following Chris Jax for a long time. We first met him during the presidential primary race. Now we have caught up with him in Colorado, said James O'Keefe, founder and CEO of Project Veritas. Thank you, Mr. O'Keefe. You are truly a patriot, sir. Keep up the good work. Jax explained how politically motivated violence from the left could be justified at election time. And I've been telling you, I'm worried about a violence on election day to try to suppress Republican turnout. I'm very, very worried about that. I'm hoping we're going to deal with it. Let me check my time. We're going pretty good. This is what he said right here. Jax said, I think the right wing has a monopoly right now on strong, violent rhetoric. That's what they keep saying. But all I see is leftists out there. He said, and I think they underestimate how many people, this is what you need to listen to, America, how many people on the left are organized, trained, armed, and ready to go should they decide to do their S. There, you can fill in the blank. He said, and I think all of it will take us in our numbers and reminder that, yeah, there is a reason. There is a reason. Listen to these people. There's a reason you guys, talking about Trump supporters, feared the communists more than you feared the Nazis. So this guy is admitting that he is a communist. Flat out, take his words for it. I've been telling you this for a long time. Black Lives Matter is a communist organization. I don't know if this guy's a member of that or not, but Black Lives Matter, not the concept of Black Lives Matter, but the actual movement is a communist organization. If you don't believe me, look at this picture right here. Check this picture out and I'll explain it to you. Do you know who that is a picture of? Now they're lovey-dovey, right? That is Maduro, the dictator of Venezuela, in the middle of those two lovely ladies. That is Maduro. The lady in the black dress, her name is Opal Tometi. It's O-P-A-L, so you can look it up yourself. T-O-M-E-T-I, in that black dress. Do you know who she is? She is the co-founder of Black Lives Matter. And she's huggy-duggy, lovey-feely, touchy-kissy with Nicolas Maduro, a communist socialist that has destroyed one of the greatest countries in South America, Venezuela. That is who you are voting for if you vote for I Am the Democratic Party, Joe Biden. Vote for him if you want to, but don't say you weren't warned of who he really is and who he represents. He said, I am the Democratic Party. That lady right there represents the Democratic Party along with this gentleman right here. And I'm telling you, the heart of the leadership of the Democratic Party, the most active people in the Democratic Party are pushing a communist agenda. It's just a fact. You don't have to fact check it. You could. Mr. Algorithm, please don't, look it up, but it's just a fact. Somebody's got to say it, and long as I can, I'm going to. Jack spoke even more explicitly about violence should President Trump win re-election. Let me just tell you, I hadn't said this in a while. I like to be seriously entertaining, man. That's why I got Billy Bob on the set. I like to laugh and have a good time. It's kind of hard right now to be funny when things are so serious. When they're talking about cutting your head off, pretty hard to laugh, all right? But Jack spoke even more explicitly about the violence should President Trump win re-election. The truth is more important than the humor. I try to do it in a seriously entertaining way. But Jack said, I'm going to be in my garage. In other words, this is what he's saying. He's saying that if and when Donald Trump wins re-election, this is what he's going to be doing on election night. I'm going to be in my garage right next to my gun safe all night long on the 3rd because that is how seriously I take this stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Democratic Party. You need to accept that, and you also need to accept that you better check out my sponsor, Big Daddy Unlimited, while you still got time. Listen to the top of the show. Look at I told you all about it, but they're everything Second Amendment, man. To find them, go to the show description, no matter when and where you're watching our video. At the top of it, there'll be a description of the show. Scroll down, you'll see a link, Big Daddy Unlimited, factory direct pricing on anything Second Amendment. Guns, ammo, thousands of items shipped directly to your door. Check it out. But this guy, let me check my time. I only got a couple minutes left. I got to try to get this out quickly as I can because this is important stuff. But he said that he's calling for a civil war. And if you go to this Breitbart story, there's more to it. He's basically says that if we have Trump reelected, it's going to be a civil war. And he says, check this out, man, that they need to target billionaires, specifically to really change the country with violence. Jack says it would be necessary for revolutionaries to target billionaires for assassination. This is a member of the Democratic Executive Committee in Colorado, for God's sakes. I am the Democratic Party, Joe Biden. This is him. Jack says it doesn't matter who. He said, Bezos, talking about Jeffrey Bezos, is at the top of the list. Now, this guy's a hardcore liberal, owns the Washington Post, but he should be targeted for assassination. Are you listening, Democrats? They're going to go after you. And he supports Black Lives Matter, for God's sakes. We're going to close with this. Though Jack's made it clear that the targets of his revolution would not be limited to Republicans or conservatives, to him, are you listening to this? Are you woke? Getting woke? I'm about to wake you up, Democrats. He said to him, moderate Democrats would also have to be dealt with. He said, half the struggle that I have isn't with Republicans, It isn't with right wing. It's with effing moderates in the Democratic Party. Are you listening? Are you going to be truly woke? I'm going to close the show now, but I got to tell you this. It is time. It is way past time, America. Regardless of political party, wake up. Our long slumber, man, we've been fat and happy since World War II, and I love it. I'm a fat and happy guy myself, but our slumber has got to come to an end. We need everyday American people to rise up, man. We got to man the political ramparts. If we don't, we're going to have to man the real ones again. This election is literally about what Mel is saying right there, freedom. And if you don't want to have to paint your face and dress like that, you better rise up and vote, and we may have to do it anything. We got to have a Trump rally on November 3rd. Donald Trump is going to do his part. Man, he is doing it like gangbusters. We have got to do our part. We got to wake up. We got to get people to the polls. We got to go through hell and high water to vote no matter what, because literally I take these people at their word, and you should too. The soul of America and our very existence as a republic is at stake. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the show as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. I'll pray for your family. You pray for mine. Let's all pray for this great nation and President Trump. But above all else, like I say each and every day, from my heart, from my family to yours, have a blessed day.